Hello Scorpio, Marina from the Butterfly Effect. This is your reading for May 2020. Scorpio, I've asked for your energy this month and I've asked for your external energy, and it's going to be easier for me, I feel, reading the external energy as you, because your significator, the heart of the matter, I would like to think is probably not the people I'm reading for, but more of the sort of person that you're probably dealing with. I do get a wee bit of a vibe here where the person you're dealing with is maybe even like a teenage child, an adolescent. This is someone who's a little bit gone off the rails, is the feeling I get from this. They're like, this is someone who has very, very poor boundaries and is so very determined or intent to fit in, that they have their integrity has been compromised, and I genuinely don't feel that's the kind of people I read for, albeit I have quite a small, subscriber list. So I'm going to read you as the external energy, but it is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and work out who you are in this scenario. So let's firstly look at the messages that have come through for the month. I have, crikey, my ghost of the pumpkin patch, count your blessings with honesty in reverse, and a safe place for you to go. This combination. So the song I did get on this was The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. So overall for the month of May, this is like a reminder that it is going to be a time to harvest again, and that what may come up for you is that the kind of like ghosts of harvest mist may come up to haunt you. And what that really means is that there are maybe opportunities from your past that you haven't taken for whatever reason, and they're sort of bubbling back up and coming into, your mindset again. But overall, this is suggesting that this is a time to not forget the blessings, that indeed a blessing that even you have currently in your life has been overlooked completely because it's something familiar, it's someone familiar. I mean, it could be anything depending on your situation, but it's so familiar that it's something that you're just not seeing, or you haven't seen, or you're not recognizing it. It can be like a fixture in your life that's so familiar that is, if not familiarity breeds contempt. If it's not that, then it is a complete blindness to something that is really beneficial and positive in your life, and that if you don't recognize it, it's a case of you only know what you've lost when it's gone. I really do get that feeling from this. So it's also telling you that this is maybe a time to call in any debt. So if there's any outstanding money issues, now is a time to call it in. And if you are able to do that and you are in a plentiful position, it might be a time to share whatever bounty that you may have. But it's also cautioning that against being aware that there might be someone out there who can cheat you. And again, I'm sort of getting that feeling of a parent with an adolescent child here who has been very well cared for throughout their life. They've not gone without, probably ever. And if times are harder and you're having to explain to them that they are going to have to go without, this is something they're probably not responding to well, because that's not something that they've had to endure. So it's about really protecting yourself, protecting your own assets, and protecting what you've worked hard to earn. Your material wealth more than anything. With Brother Raccoon here, a safe place to go. I do really get that someone has retreated here. It's very focused on staying safe, taking cover, flying under the radar, not really speaking, only moving. I mean, obviously this could very much relate to our current environment. only going where places are safe, you know. Just being very, very, very cautious. But there's something about not being honest with others or oneself in this situation, with honesty in reverse here. This is almost being afraid. There's someone here, and I don't think it's you. I do think it's who you're dealing with, who is afraid to speak up with honesty in reverse. This is someone who can be in a state of denial. This is someone who may project their own problems onto you. Someone who may be quite repressed. But if it's you and you're feeling anxious or confused about a situation, it can be sort of throwing up that this is something you might need to look at, because there might be an element of self-deceit here. As much as we, you know, attempt to alleviate anxiety and stress in our lives, and, you know, find tools that help us deal with it, the very fact that it comes up is telling you there's something that needs to be paid attention to. And the longer that you ignore something, the more anxious around that situation you're likely to come. But as I say, this has come through as your energy. I'm going to read it as your external energy, and you know how this works with a general reading. But I've got the undressing of the salad in reverse, and armadillo spirit, armadillo, in reverse. And this is somebody who really doesn't have any boundaries, or doesn't know how to instill healthy boundaries, really. It's sort of suggesting that this is quite a tricky time. This is someone who might find themselves sort of enmeshed with other people who are, and they're very overly concerned about this group or someone else's opinion of them, to the point that they don't really say how they feel. It's like this is someone who capitulates to someone else's opinions because they're afraid that if they were to speak their own mind, that they would be excluded, or they wouldn't be liked anymore. So they're going along with stuff here that's really not good for them. I mean, this is like serious people pleasing here. And it's ultimately going to result in the loss of integrity. I did get peace when there is no peace on this. And with the undressing of the salad in reverse, this is like dropping all the balls. There's major imbalance here. There's major confusion. And this is someone who, to fit in with the crowd, to be popular, is even prepared to be, if not unethical, then, you know, maybe even manipulative or unkind. So this is like, you know, you want to fit in with the in crowd, and they're like ripping the piss out of someone who, you know, has got some serious issues. And rather than doing the right thing and sticking up for the underdog or the person who, you know, who really doesn't deserve it, they don't want to have themselves ostracized and made fun of, so they go along with the gang. This is like real, you know, gang mentality here. I mean, this is someone who knows that this is going on, but they're so very much afraid to, you know, stand out from the crowd. I am getting a kind of similar message here that I got in the Pisces reading that I put up yesterday. So you might want to have a listen to that as well. So when I say I look at your external energy, and this is what I think is actually your energy. So I've got the bat, solace and courage. A rebirth is assured. This is very much someone who sees all. This is someone who is seeing incredibly clearly, even though they have been in the darkness, or you know, when I say the darkness, I think the person they're dealing with is intentionally keeping them in the dark and not sharing what's going on. This is someone who has a very perceptive idea as to what's going on with this person. I really do get an overwhelming feeling of a parent and child here. They know their child's hiding something from them, that they're not happy. I see it really clearly. So for some of you that will be the case. This could be like a romantic relationship for others, but this is with the bat, this is like It's a rebirth of faith in your own abilities to even establish, you know, new and healthy relationships. It's very much a case of what lost is found. It's trusting your intuition and your spiritual guidance. It may even be, you know, for some of you have had some sort of enlightenment here that's allowed you to stand up with the Singer of Courage and not retreat from any sort of hardship or awkward situations. And even if though it feels like something may have sort of died or evaporated, it's sort of suggesting that it hasn't. It's actually in a state of like shape shifting into something even more meaningful than before. That ultimately everything is going to be, you know, revealed here, or has indeed already been revealed. So I think for the Scorpios I'm reading for, they do have a very clear idea as to what is going on. I'm not sure they are confronting the situation. It feels like a delicate situation. It feels delicate. It feels like this person is like, you know, on the edge, sort of on the edge of, like, their life is chaos, and they're not admitting that to you. They're not admitting that to themselves. They've retreated from you and they're not sharing from you, but you know that whatever or whomever they're involved with, they're struggling. They're struggling because it's not in alignment with themselves. They just want to be one of the gang. And this is the heart of the matter, the significator, the Knight of Wands in reverse with the Ra. So this is someone that is like really off the rails here. The Knight of Wands in reverse is someone who is really, really unstable. This is like a jack in the box. This is like, with the Ra card here, this is someone who has a lot of energy, that they don't even know how to use it up. It's someone who likes a lot of activity, a lot of mental activity, a lot of stimulation. They just like to be in the thick of it. But with the Knight of Wands, this can be like someone who is, I mean, apart from chaotic, which goes without saying, but there's very impulsive behaviour here. I just keep getting this impression of a kid who's got into a gang, and, you know, for the first time in their life, they feel like they're fitting in and they just want to be one of the gang and you know, do outlandish, dangerous, you know, activities just to fit in. And it's making a fool of them. Their behaviour is foolish, and it's going to cost them, basically. I just want to be in the thick of it, but they're not managing this energy well at all. And in the crossing position, the obstacle for the month is the Two of Cups. So I mean, it could be a romantic situation, and this is a complete player who's just out and about putting it everywhere and is in complete denial, has no boundaries, who will just, you know, hump anything with you know, a pulse. If it is a romantic situation, that's who you're dealing with here, and this is something you're seeing very clearly. If it's not, this is you just really struggling to connect, or they're going to really struggle to connect on a one-to-one basis with someone who has good intentions for them. With the Two of Cups here, this is like the first meeting. I mean, this could be someone who is might be like, you know, a Peter Pan type energy, where they just want to, you know, be a child forever, and, you know, they're 45, but they still want to go to the club every weekend and, you know, mess about with young girls, and really what they're struggling with is having a grown-up relationship, you know, one that requires considerably more than what they currently feel they have to offer or they want to offer. But it is in their obstacle position. Again, I don't think it's yours. It's so weird. I mean, instantly, because I'm assuming that the people I read for don't have this kind of energy. And 80% of my subscribers are female, and that's not who I read for at all. And the base of the matter is the Seven of Cups for the Spirit Dancer in reverse. So this is someone who, you know, has got a lot to learn on the love front. And with them, the Spirit Dancer, this is someone who's not able to express themselves. This is like someone who's really repressed. And it can only manage really superficial relationships, so they'll only ever go so far. It'll only be, you know, a few dates and a one-night stand, but beyond that, they're going to struggle to even scratch the surface of anything really, you know, fundamentally healthy or long-lasting. And I've got another 7 here, so this is like lessons galore. So this is in the headspace of this individual. The 7 of Pentacles and Flaf the Footer in reverse. Flaf the Footer in reverse is about completely losing your way. Flaf is completely unearthed. Oopsie. This is someone who really needs to come back to earth. And when it does happen, it might be with a really hard bump. But with the 7 of Pentacles, it kind of feels like, again, this is lessons. This is take the risk or don't take the risk. This person doesn't know what to do with themselves, doesn't know what to do with their life. They are being offered something here that will possibly remove them from stagnation to something brand new. But they're not capable of taking hold of that. They're too young. If this is a masculine, then this is like a man in a, you know, who is Peter Pan, but not even in, well, maybe it's in a fun way. I don't know. Someone just doesn't have any boundaries at all. I mean, at all. It's someone who doesn't appreciate what they've got when they've got it. And rather than dealing with any sort of breakup in relationships or issues with relationships, they're just going to something else bright and shiny. Bright and shiny, bright and shiny, off, 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 off. I don't want to deal with grown-up stuff. I'm just going to continue to be the forever player, the forever child, and never grow up. But I mean, they're not happy with this. They're not happy with this. And in the past, there's been a lot of conflict. This is mainly inner conflict. This is dealing with the dragons within. So there's some recognition here that what they're doing with their lives isn't ideal and isn't really working for them. But there really does seem an incapacity here for someone to deal with this. I don't know how to describe it. If it is an adolescent child, it would make a whole lot more sense to me, rather than, you know, my Peter Pan here. And this is someone who just wants to fit in regardless. This is someone who cannot, who doesn't really know who they are, doesn't have a solid identity, doesn't know what they stand for, really just wants to be popular and fit in, even though on some soul level it's uncomfortable for them and they do feel unraveled. But there's an element here of not even being able to identify that. Their mind feels incredibly scattered, so that even when I'm doing this reading, I just like want to rub my head. In their immediate future, we have the Death card, so there is something that has to end here. And I think it is that there might have been an opportunity for this person to have a real relationship with someone in the Two of Cups, which is their obstacle. But what is ending here is the Singer of the Chalice in reverse. So this is like your Ace of Cups in reverse. This is like something never really got off the ground. It can sort of represent the feminine here. Someone doesn't trust this person. Someone's lacked patience in a situation. and it's the she of the Kruak as well. So I think there's been a feminine here that this person's been involved with, and they've just, it would sort of suggest that in the future there is a possibility for it to transform, but in actual fact I just see that their behaviour is such that this relationship or this person they've been dealing with is going to count themselves out, because they have been indecisive with Indy here. This is someone again who's very young and afraid to make a decision in case it's a wrong decision. They're incredibly nervous about something, so they keep everything superficial, and the minute it gets a wee bit serious and a wee bit real, they're going to sort of revert to their conditioned ways, or what the crowd sort of suggests, you know, what's cool to be a play. I don't know, but I do really see an ending here, because this like grown-up relationship stuff is too much for this person, or indeed it may not be even what they want, maybe what they've never wanted. Peter Pan again. In the immediate future, no, where they find themselves, the Fool and the Knight of Swords. I mean, you know, kind of address my case here. It might be someone's like really anxious to like, you know, have a new start and take a leap of faith and start something brand new. But I really just get the impression they just want everything to be brand new all the time, like every day, every day. This is like hyperactiveness. And they don't want to think about the consequences of what's gone before and what might be. They just want it there and now, and that's it. I can't really describe it. It's just so, it's such an incredibly immature, active energy. It's like active. They need activity, they need stimulation, they need something new all the time, and if they're not getting that, they're like in slight panic mode. And in your hopes, and this is where I think I'm coming back onto you as my bat spirit here and my singer of courage, you're hoping to get some sort of honesty from this person. You're hoping that they have the ability to not lie. With the Page of Swords, the Page of Swords come through as a liar to me, an immature, bullshit, blowing smoke up your arse liar, and you just don't want to deal with that. So your hope is that, you know, they just come straight. You can have an honest conversation. You can get to the root of the matter without any tantrums or door slamming or, you know, pure attitude. And I again, I'm coming back to a sort of parent and child here. And in your fears, this is someone who is afraid of going it alone, afraid of being alone, afraid of making any sort of sacrifices to be like self-sufficient and capable and an individual in their own right. Again, sort of coming back, I know it's a bit flip-floppy here, I can't help it. This was not your energy. Convinced that this is your energy, and you just want to get to the root of the matter. You want to have a grown-up conversation. You don't want any sort of fucking petulance and, you know, attitude and like being a complete Kevin arsehole. You just want to have a grown-up conversation without that. And I'm just getting pure swagger and attitude all the way through this, to the point like, can't even deal. Just take their computer off them, their phone, and shut them in their fucking room. You know, thank God I don't have kids like this, but I swear to God if I did, that's what I would be doing right now. If this is a kid, that literally needs shut down from fucking society and has had a strong word. And in the outcome, Page of Cups with the Ace of Pentacles. Again, it's really, really young energy. It's really kind of immature with the pages here. But my page of cups in this deck is Narcissus himself. This is someone who's entirely self-obsessed. I think this might even be like a semantic narcissist. Someone who, you know, has an Instagram account, who, you know, puts up 40 selfies a day. If it's not that, then the outcome is that there's a possibility of something very, very new here. Very, very young again with the Page of Cups. This is something very new on a feeling level, on an emotional level. It can be the love of oneself, or, you know, the re-emergence of love, but it's rarely for another in this deck. And just with the Ace of Pentacles, this is usually money. I've just got a horrible feeling that this could be a really wayward, indulgent, self-obsessed child who has a lump sum of money coming their way, and they're just going to fritter it into, you know, beautifying themselves, buying, you know, I don't know, face creams and nice cars, and, you know, looking good on social media. What can I say? Oopsie. Crap. So, I mean, this could be a romantic relationship for some of you, Scorpio. That's not the vibe I got from it, but it will be for some of you. And if that is the case, you're dealing with a Peter Pan who has the attention span of a gnat. And they're just not good on their own, really. They literally are someone who needs a lot of attention. Will probably get into a bit of a depression of their own. They don't really want to support themselves. They quite like the, you know, the attention and the money that is coming their way, and the support. And the outcome is, if they actually do, if you continue to support them financially, their self-indulgence and self-obsession is just going to deepen. And I do think that the Scorpio I'm reading for sees this very well. So let's just take good advice. I don't know if you're supporting this person financially, but if you were or are, that's what needs to be cut out here, and that's what the Death card might be. That motherly love here or fatherly is tapped out. Okay, so Scorpio, what is your advice for May 2020? Scorpio advice for May 2020. Nope. Scorpio advice, May 2020. Be fearless and stand your ground, and stay rooted and grounded. Move in a new direction. I don't even really need to read the descriptions, but this is just saying, I mean, again with this, you just know, even if you don't you don't have the physical proof of something, the bat knows, the bat can literally see in the dark. It's, you know, that sonar, the solas and courage. You just know, your intuition is on point about this person, and they might, you know, be running rings around you with a number of stories, Page of Swords in reverse, lie after lie, bullshit after bullshit. And this is just saying, you know the score, you're really grounded, and you need to stand your ground with this person. So if you are supplying them or enabling them in any sort of way, now is the time to really just rip the rug from this person, and so that they can have an honest look at themselves going forward, and move in a new direction. You know, move in a new direction, do something for you. So Scorpio, I hope that resonates. Please like, subscribe if it does, and if you would like a reading, all my information is below. And look after yourselves. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.